Lantern has turned out pretty nice. Like I said, electrolysis seems to work good. Today I've got an old Southern lantern that I've been hanging on to, and I bought a C&O lantern I'm going to use for parts to restore this lantern. And I got a couple of L&N short globe lanterns here that, by the way, are for sale. I'm going to clean them up a little bit. There's just some light surface rust on them. We're going to try to use electrolysis. What I used to do all the time was use lye, and again, this is 100% lye. It's aggressive, it can burn your hands, it can put your eyes out, and it definitely will remove rust, metal, copper, anything if you leave it in long enough. You can leave one of these lanterns in there and it'll eventually completely disappear if you want to. But anyway, today I'm going to try to do a little safer process. This doesn't remove anything but the rust. A laundry booster, super wash soda. It's kind of hard to come by to buy this online. I've been told baking soda will work as well. You need a plastic container. This one's full of water, battery charger, and some various pieces of scrap metal and some wires that you're going to hook up your battery charger to and to your, these are something I had made up where I can hook my battery charger up to it, and then I can hook them straight down to the water to the metal item I'm cleaning. So anyway, let me get this set up and I'll explain to you what I have going on, okay? Okay, let me say a couple of things here. One thing about safety, obviously, you know, watch what you're doing. You are dealing with electricity, you are dealing with water. You know, always make sure you're unplugged while you're hooking everything up, and then plug up like I've done here. My battery charger's away from my tub. As you can probably see, I'm missing one of my lanterns. I've taken the burner out and I've taken out the globe. And what I've got here is I've got a 5-gallon bucket full of water. I took probably about a cup's worth of this laundry booster and just poured it in and stirred it up. The reason why you use this laundry booster soda or using baking soda is we're going to be trying to conduct electricity across the water, and water is not that great a conductor. So what you do is you use the soda to help create a current through the water. And what we have here hooked up is, now it's kind of hard to see, but I have a metal plate in there, and kind of like this one right here, and I'm using a clamp to clamp, and I have that hooked up to my positive battery cable or my charger, and I've taken another wire and hooked it up right to the frame, or to actually call the lid of this lantern. This is one of my short globe L&N lanterns, and I've hooked up the negative line to it. Now, you got to make sure you're positioning right to where the positive and the negative are not touching. You're going to transfer rust from the rusted item to the plate. The plate is going to basically pick up the rust. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you place them in a way to where neither are touching. It won't hurt anything, it'll ground out and it won't work. So before the water got so cloudy, I mixed everything in there. I made sure that I had the lantern sitting away from the plate, which is, again, here's the plate hanging down, here's the wire going to the lantern. So anyway, once all that's done, you just simply turn it on and see how long it takes to make this happen. So we're gonna turn this on right now and see what kind of, I've got an opposition, I'm turning 12 volts. As you can see, right now it's trying to take about 1 amp. And I expect with time this should go up more, and we'll see where the needle goes here in a few minutes, and we'll check on the progress. Okay, it's only been about 4 minutes, and it looks like about 1 amp is about the best it's going to do here, just short of 1 amp. I wanted to stop and show you that, you know, it is starting to work. I don't know if you can see this very well, but you can already start to see the water's bubbling. There's material that's attracted to the metal plate on the surface here, and so it is working. This could take a few hours. It could take a long time, maybe it could be a day. I'm not really sure. We'll learn out together. I've never done one of these. I've done some really big items before. It took several days. But anyway, let me talk about something else here. When you're restoring these things, some people like just to take a light oil and rub down the burner here, hot. I'm going to just clean this up with put some oil on it, and the wick is in good enough shape. But if it wasn't, you can get these wicks for almost nothing, $1 like this one here. You can find them online. I got this one at a train show. And then again, the globe. That's what makes lanterns worth a lot of money, is the globe. A raised letter like this on a short globe is kind of rare. Some people don't appreciate that, but when you're buying a lantern, it's the rarity, and it's also a globe. And when I get this lantern done, I may put a clean plain globe in it, or possibly I may put this one back in it. So anyway, we're gonna let this thing go for a while, and we'll check back on its progress and see how it's doing. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. Still getting about a little bit short of 1 amp. As you can see, it's really starting to work. It's been working, maybe a little more visible now. At least to me, I can see the water bubbling and all kinds of cruds coming up. Anyway, we're gonna probably let this thing run for a few hours, and I'm not in any rush. We're gonna see how it does. So anyway, we'll let it go and see how it goes. Well, I said I was gonna let this thing run for 3 or 4 more hours, and I still will. But I thought, before I did, well, I'll go ahead and pull it out and just see my progress. As you can see, there's no brown rust. It's pretty much black rust that's left, and it's definitely cleaning up good. The plate has got lots of crud on it. I went ahead and took a cloth, an old towel, just like this, and basically just kind of scooped all the dirt out as much as I could and got rid of a lot of the scum. And so I'm gonna put it all back together, and like I said, I'm gonna now let it run for a couple hours. Well, as you can see, I got it out. It's really cleaned up nicely. There's still some areas that I'm not real sure what exactly all this is, but I'm going to go ahead and probably run it some more. I did notice a lot of the brown rust on top, so this plate I've been using for a long time, it's really pitted, so I'm going to change it out with a new plate and see if that doesn't maybe create a little less of the brown rust that's in there. And I'm gonna set this back up, and I went ahead and changed out the water. I'm gonna put some more Arm & Hammer solution in there and get things set back up and start it up again, and we'll see where it goes. Well, it's been 4 hours, and as you can see, it's pretty obvious that it's working pretty good, and still just pulling about the same amperage was there, about 1 amp. So we'll pull it all out here and clean it up and do an evaluation and see how it looks, and see if we need to do any more. Well, we got it out, and I'm gonna clean it up here with a hose. Spray off all this and spray off the plate. So anyway, as you can see, I've got everything cleaned up. Got my new plate put back on. I've got the lantern submerged. I put some more of my Arm & Hammer solution there. So just now it's a matter of me hooking up my battery charger again. Again, positive to the plate, negative to the item that you're wanting to remove rust from. And we'll get this going and see where it leads us. Well, it's been about 6 hours since I put this lantern back in after cleaning everything up. And what's interesting is the amperage has gone up a little bit. It's just a fraction over 1 now. Pretty much right at 1. It's been running below 1. And like I said, I've never done a lantern before. I've always done some other items, bigger items. So we're going to clean this up, and probably most likely this will be it. Well, you're seeing it's just like it is as it came out. It's pretty nasty here. There's the plate, and this is the lantern itself. So clean it up here. Get rid of some of this crud. A little difficult doing this with one hand. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of hoping that all this would go away. I'm going to try and scrub on it. Maybe some of this will just come off with scrubbing. So we'll play with it, clean on it a little more, and eventually I'll put some oil on this thing to keep it from not rusting. Sometimes some people will put clear coating, like a clear, enamel that you can buy in a spray can. I've always liked to wipe them down with oil, a light oil, like 3-in-1 oil or something light, and seems like it does the best. So I'll work on this and we'll see what it looks like when we get done. Most of the rust is gone, but it looks like a lot of the galvanized material has come off of this lantern, so I'm not real happy with the finish. So I'm going to take this lantern a step further and go back to my old method. I'm going to try to use some of this crystal drain opener, which is nothing more than 100% lye. Talked about it earlier in the video. This is what I've done in the past. So anyway, I think I went ahead and took my 5-gallon bucket, put about a half a cup of, maybe a quarter cup of this lye solution in a 5-gallon bucket with water. Like I said, you gotta be very careful with stuff. I'm just gonna see what happens. I mixed it up, try putting it in here, and just letting it soak and see how it comes out, and see if it changes the finish at all. But maybe it'll help in this situation here. Maybe there's nothing I can do when you have all the galvanized material that's coming off. Maybe this is the best you're gonna get. So anyway, we'll see how it goes, and we'll check on it here a little later. Well, I let this thing soak overnight, and it's about 24 hours later, so let's see if there's any improvement. I'm gonna take it out and spray it off here. Yeah, to be honest with you, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of improvement. So I guess we'll dry it off, and I'll rub it down with oil, and we'll see what it looks like. One thing I like to go ahead and do after one of these things is go ahead and get it dry as fast as possible so no rust occurs. This is a heat gun. You can use a blow dryer. You kind of get all this water off before anything. Well, I guess this is where we'll end this video since the dogs next door are starting to bark. Basically, I took a rag and this 3-in-1 oil and took about 20 minutes and just wiped everything down. I did go ahead and put a new wick in because the one that was in there was short. Again, I think the electrolysis worked fine. The 24 hours in the lye solution did not seem to remove any additional material. So like I said, I wanted to try to get this cleaned up as best I could. I went ahead and went with oil, but some people use clear enamel I think the oil is much better. As you can see, the lantern has turned out pretty nice. Again, it's the L&N Railroad lantern. You see the markings there. Markings on top. It has a patent date on the bottom, I believe. I think it's like 1925. It was like February 2nd, 26. And like I said, what really makes this lantern valuable is the fact it has these raised letter L&N. Like I said earlier in the video, I said I wasn't going to replace the wick, but the one that was in there was kind of short, so I went ahead and put a new wick on it. So it's ready to go. It can be lit up and used tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching this. Like I said, electrolysis seems to work good. You can use lye if you want to. In this case, I used both, and electrolysis seems to have done as good a job as lye would have done. Thanks for watching.